Hello, my friends. Brenda L. Balding, the L for Love's Inner Voice, here with you today to introduce the third season of Love's Inner Voice. Before we get started, let's take in a beautiful 2 or 3 heart breaths. Helps me to imagine in and back, down into your lungs, front and back, and down to your core. And as you breathe out, and you're breathing in light and love, and as you breathe out anything that you're ready to let go of back into that light and love. Do that 3 or 4 times. And if I feel like I need movement, I put my 2 hands together like this down, and I bring them up as I breathe in, and it kind of looks like a heart. And then I hold my hands up to the loving energy and light. And then I bring that loving energy and light down for my next breath. And that's just kind of fun to do that. So now that we've done some heart breaths, I wanted to share with you that we have lots of different fun things coming up in this season 3. And some of them I don't even know what they are yet. But we're going to talking about all kinds of wonderful things. But first, I'd like to share with you my newest book, Discovery is Vital, Awaken Love's Inner Voice. And it's available on Amazon along with my other 2 books. And I wanted to read you something from one of the chapters. Rigorous honesty with myself is one of the hardest things for me to do. I am very good at talking story and rationalizing to myself. How does that serve me or anyone? Listening to Love's Inner Voice is about deep honesty and acceptance of the sacred Brenda. And you can add your name there, of the sacred Tony or of the sacred Annie, or you get my drift today. So the sentence would go, listening to Love's Inner Voice about deep honesty and acceptance of the sacred Brenda today. This takes energy, determination, and acceptance. And of course, acceptance is the word of the chapter. And then I end with a quote. Acceptance looks like a passive state, but in reality, it brings something entirely new into this world. That peace, a subtle energy vibration, a consciousness. And that's by Eckhart Tolle. And then I asked you some questions to ponder or to journal about. How does acceptance or resistance show up in my life? When resistance shows up, that's the opposite of acceptance. And we know that opposites usually show up when we're working on anything. When I'm working on being deeply honest, little bits of dishonesty show up, little bits of talking story, little bits of wanting to look good. Well, that's dishonest in my lexicon. What do I have no control over? And there's some other good questions there too. So feel free to check out my book, and you can get it in person or online. So, a couple of people that we're going to have: Brenda McGregor, wonderful friend. She's a coach. She has a podcast called If Only, and I love that. And we've shared a podcast with us. It's going to be on in mid-August. You'll also meet Michelle Ann Collins, and she assists people to move from surviving to thriving. So you might want to listen to hers too. And then I'm also having a podcast with Dr. Munira Sahabi, and you'll be seeing her in August as well. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady, so vibrant. And she talks about putting on our oxygen mask, or the oxygen mask strategy. Because if we don't take care of ourselves first, like the airlines tells us to put oxygen masks on ourselves first before we help our children or our seatmates or whatever, how can we be of assistance to anybody else? Yeah, that's pretty incredible. And then another guest that I'm having is Heather Eck. And she's a lovely lady who is an artist. And she does healing and transformation, assists us with her art. So we'll be talking to her too. And a lot of others. I've chosen to let the TV host go, so I'm doing this on my own, and we're creating podcasts and YouTubes all at the same time. Please join me at Love's Inner Voice. The other thing that I want to let you know, besides my new book, and if you don't know, my first book is Discovery is Recovery. And I'm also part of an anthology called Sacred Connections. So you can check all of those out on Amazon. And you can get them online or you can get them in real. I happen to like to have books that I can touch. But the most important thing is just to be the most authentic you that you can, to really learn to listen to love's inner voice, our heart, our intuition, for your good, our good, and the highest good of all, because then we're showing up authentically. And I work with women who are maybe struggling with some tough decisions, some tough emotional things, to assist them with their own self-discovery journey and deepen their own love's inner voice that they may need some assistance with other than a book. So if that's something that you know someone who might be able to use my assistance in coaching, next steps, coming up towards retirement, dealing with a job that just doesn't work anymore, going through some big emotional things, all of a sudden you're looking at, oh, I need to rebirth myself. That's sort of what I had to do after my father died, and I've talked about that a little bit. But mostly, it's about being present and really listening to each other, to what we have to offer to the world, and mostly to ourselves. Again, it's not being selfish. Because if I don't listen to myself and take care of myself, how can I be present for you? How can I be present for my beautiful daughter? How can I be present for different groups of people that I belong to? I pulled a Louise Hay card the other day, and it was about elbows. Our elbows are really important. But on the other side, it says, I easily flow with new experiences, new directions, and new changes. And that's what I'm doing in this season 3, because I don't know what's going to happen. And that's the fun of it. And it's the joy of being. That's our job, is walking in the joy of being the best we can be, mistakes and all, warts and all, too much weight and all. A smile that kind of looks like a frown, frizzy hair, it doesn't matter. We are blessed. I am blessed to be able to share this with you. It came from my sacred connection, because I never planned to be an author. I never planned to be a podcast host or a YouTube host. That wasn't even in my lexicon when I retired. It took 2 or 3 years for me to go, oh, what else am I going to do now? And then all of a sudden, my first book came up, the second anthology, and then now my third book, which I showed you earlier, Discovery is Vital. Again, all the photos in this book are mine. And the nice thing about this book, as opposed to my first one, is that the photos are in color. And I just love that. And I start out the book with a picture of my dad and my daughter. And I end the book with a picture of my dad and myself. So if you're curious, I would love to share that book with you. Blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and tune in to see what's showing up in the future. Blessings to each and every one of you. I treasure this time with you. Blessings. Brenda and Love's Inner Voice signing off for now.